So I'll just save up for a few more years and try again. It's more of a want than a need anyway.
Today we're reacting to 4Dasher, a fellow YouTuber who recorded his negotiation to buy a new Toyota Corolla Hybrid. The video got 2.9 million views in a year. Let's go!
2024 Corolla Hybrid LE, of course.
Nice.
Yep. Okay, so what you think?
Well, I'm interested. So this is going to be shipped here anyways. Yeah, I would be fine with looking at the numbers
Yeah,
and seeing.
May 8th, that's what he told
Yeah,
me.
that's fine.
Manager.
That's fine. I'm not looking to get. I'm not trying to drive it today. I'm fine with waiting.
Okay.
I'd be fine with waiting even longer, if it's possible for.
So you're looking
To get
forward to see some numbers, right?
Yes.
Okay, a very crucial statement by the buyer here. I'm actually able to wait a bit longer. So he's not in a rush. The salesperson dives right into it and goes straight into the numbers.
And this is the vehicle we're interested in, which is a 2024 Corolla Cross Hybrid. So that's the core. Yep. So right here, it's a start setting price, which is that. And then we got the adjustments and some additional tax and processing fee, which are here. And then we total of this one right here, which is will be your total. And the optional payment could be paying it off out of pocket, or if you want to lease, well, we have the finance option here with $2,000 down, $4,000 down, and $6,000 down. So these are the months and these are the numbers. Just circle the one that best suits you, and yeah,
Well.
and we go from there.
All right. So the adjusted market value. So.
Remember that those cars, so they're in high demand,
Yeah.
but low on supply.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So especially because they're hybrid, we don't get to see them too often.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
the only reason.
Great job by the buyer. He right away goes to the adjusted market value, what's going on there. And the salesperson tells him, well, there's something there because there's more demand than supply. So we can ask more for the same car.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
the only reason of the market adjustment. Yes.
I gotcha.
I'm getting to explain it better.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah,
That's
it
the
does make
market.
sense. Yes.
Well, I was hoping for the final price to be no more than.
Yeah, because
Well,
remember
yeah.
the processing fee and stuff like that up to that.
Yeah.
The price.
Well.
Very interesting part of the video. I was hoping that the final price would, it's a bit vague and he doesn't give a number. So he's a bit afraid to say what he wants. And the salesperson doesn't really pick up on it. The salesperson actually tries to explain why it is a bit more expensive. See what the person wants to say, let them speak and find out what they want. Also, if you are the seller, you can see that the person is a bit hesitant to make their offer. That means they're not too confident with their offer.
I guess that's a little bit too expensive for me, so.
I guess that's a little bit too expensive for me. Again, it's quite vague. What does that mean? Is it too expensive? Is it way too expensive? A little too expensive? We don't know because he doesn't really make a clear statement. If you want to say something is too expensive, make a clear statement. That is more than I'm willing to pay. Done. Then it's time for the seller to give his input and share his thoughts.
So I'll probably come back another time.
Again, vague statement. I'll probably come back another time. So is he going to walk? He didn't say he's going to walk. Is he happy? Probably not, but we also don't know. If you want to make statements like this, be clear, be concise.
Maybe save up for it, but yeah, that's not something I'm trying to do. But I appreciate your time and I appreciate you checking and getting these numbers for me.
Let's see. Well, before you leave, let me get in touch with a manager and see what he says.
Yeah, sure.
And I can be back.
Okay, sounds good.
Interesting. So he's sharing his disappointment with the price in quite vague words, but then he wants to be nice to the salesperson because he is interested. He wants to buy a car. That's what we can hear right away. He wants to buy a car. So in order to soften the blow a bit for the salesperson, he goes and says, well, thank you for your time. He's trying to be grateful. And that way he's trying to to keep the salesperson engaged. In this case, it works very well. A good salesperson, however, would know, okay, there's really room to negotiate here because there is a willingness to buy. Then that's a standard practice when you're buying a car. I think almost everywhere in the world, you talk to someone and they always have to go to their manager. And if you continue going, the manager has to go to their manager, and then in the end you end up with the owner or the VP or the director, whatever it is. But when you buy a car, there's always these escalations. It's standard practice and they're all trained to do it.
Okay, so right now,
No problem.
let's see yeah. So what you think about that? Like, what could be the issue?
Well, the final price.
Yeah, it's a funny statement. What could be the issue? I mean, again, vague wording. Don't do that. If you know what you're talking about, just make the statement. What will make you buy this car today? What is preventing you from buying this car today? The buyer, he's feeling a bit more confident now. You can hear that his confidence is going up a bit. So he right away says the final price. Finally, a clear statement.
Let me tell you something. What
Yeah.
if I could be able to take out $500 of it? Will
Yeah,
you-
but no, it would be more like I'm looking at a final price of 26,000. Which
Finally, a clear offer I would be looking at can still be a bit more clear and straightforward, but we're getting there. At least the salesperson now has something to aim for. Without much efforts, the salesperson is willing to lower the price with $500, which is a good start. But now it's interesting to see what is the next step going to be.
with the high demand, it doesn't look like that'll be possible. So I'll just save up for a few more years and try again. It's more of a want than a need anyway.
$1,000, what you think?
Great tactic by the buyer. In this case, it works like a charm. He says, I'll just wait. It's more than a want than a need anyway. I'll save up for a couple more years. Well, trust me, no salesperson ever wants to hear that because they are trained and they are rewarded for making sales now, here and now, today. That's what their bonuses are based on. That's what they want. So right away, you see the $500 discount goes to a $1,000 discount. What does that tell you? Well, you could say it's just $500. Yes, true. But at the same time, it's going from 0 to 500 to 1,000. So the step is not getting smaller, which indicates there's still room to get an even better price. If you make different offers, make the offers in a way where you show that your room is getting less and less. So go from 500 to 900, and then from 900 to 1,200, from 1,200 to 1,300, and from 1,300 to 1,350, for example. Never go 500, 1,000, because where does it end?
Because remember, because of the, it's not just something that it will always happen. It's just because some of the hybrids, we don't get to see them often, especially with Toyota.
No, I get it. Yeah. I completely understand. But yeah, it's just more than I was wanting to pay.
What the buyer is doing, and I'm not sure if it was a tactic or just something that happened naturally, but he's constantly agreeing to the statements by the salesperson. Like, yeah, I understand. Yeah, they're tough to get. I understand. You don't have to, right? So he gives them an option to make up their own mind. So the person who's negotiating here, the buyer is feeling more confident. So he's now comfortable to say, no, 1,000, we're still not there.
So, I mean, I get it. That's how the market works, and with the
either
fees and
1,000.
tax. Huh?
No, either 1,000 off.
No.
Again, you see the confidence going up.
Yeah, I'm looking for 26. Yeah.
I'm looking for 26. You see, those statements are getting more and more clear and concise. By the way, not sure, of course, but to me, it feels like the person selling here is not that experienced. It feels like they have a bit of practicing to do. And they can, of course, always call us to get some advice on how to negotiate.
I'm looking for 26. Yeah.
26.
Mhm.
26, huh?
Mhm.
26, huh?
Yeah, because we don't see that often with new cars.
Yeah.
So the salesperson, again, no clear statement, no clear questions. He's just trying something here and he doesn't have a clear plan or strategy. And I'm not saying this to bash the guy. I mean, I'm sure he's doing his best, or maybe he's new in the job. I don't know what it is, but I'm just trying to analyze it so we can all learn from it. So I'm not trying to be mean or trying to tell you that he's a terrible negotiator, but there are things that he can improve and there's things that we can learn from this.
Yeah.
Over that price, then it will be a used car, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
No, either 1,500.
So what's the third offer? First $500 off? $1,000 off, 1,500. So what does that tell us? There's still room to negotiate, because otherwise you would see you would go from 500 to 1,000 to 14 or 1,300. But right away he goes to 1,500. Plus, who is he negotiating with here? It seems like he's negotiating with himself, because the buyer doesn't make any adjusted offers. He stated it's too much. He stated 26 and he made no move from there on. If you're negotiating with someone, they're not making any moves, why would you? Be careful with that. Never negotiate with yourself. By the way, a little bit earlier in the video, you also heard I think it's a pen on the table where they're talking. I don't know if it's the salesperson or the buyer, but it does tell us that someone is not that comfortable. Either side, I'm not sure. But again, even if we can't see it, we can take a lot of lessons from even the sounds.
That would drop you off.
I know.
Yeah.
I know, that's very generous, but that's still higher than what I want that price to be.
Yeah, because if you think about it, 1,500 and you give out at least $2,000, which will be more or less than what it would be right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, of course, yeah.
Of
Mhm.
course.
Again, vague statements from the salesperson. And my advice would be, if you're not really sure what you're doing, get a colleague, get a manager, and at least take a short break. Step out of this negotiation, have a chat, think about what you're going to do, and then go back in. By the way, you still hear the...
So $3,000 off of it,
Well,
basically, right?
3.5. Well, yeah, 3.
Well, 3 because he's
33,
26.
yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. I have a pre-approval check from my bank in my car for 18,000. I have a cashier's check for 4,000. That's 22.
Yeah.
And then I'd be willing to swipe a credit card if you take credit card for. Do you take credit card swipes for remaining amounts or no?
I'm not sure about that, honestly.
Gotcha. Because I would swipe my card for another 4,000 to make it be 26,000 total, and I would buy the car today. But only if it's 26,000, which I understand is not something that the market demand. I get it. It's a popular car. You'll probably sell it, but
So if it would be this price, you
out
would-
the door. Now that's including
Out the door.
tax, title, and fee.
So again, what do we learn here? We see there's not a lot of questions being asked. So there is a question now, can I pay the remaining 4,000 with a credit card? The salesperson doesn't know, which strengthens my belief in the fact that the salesperson is quite new in his job. Also, if you're selling a car, wouldn't you want to know whether someone is paying cash, credit card, whatever it is, before you go into a price discussion? And that's something that I often see. People assume a lot of things and they forget to ask the questions. And I would advise all of you, if you're negotiating, always ask a lot of open-ended questions to try and find out what is the position of the other person and what is the world of the other person. What does it look like? Maybe they have a duffel bag with cash. Maybe they have to finance the whole thing. Maybe they even can't get finance because their credit score is horrible. Whatever it may be, you have to find out earlier on, not somewhere in the middle of a price negotiation.
And I have the means to pay for it, as long as you guys can take a credit card for the other 4,000.
This is also an attempt by the buyer to make himself more interesting for the salesperson, because things are slowing down. So he's trying to show, okay, but I'm willing to buy today. So he's trying to incentivize the salesperson to keep going, to keep coming towards the offer the buyer is looking for.
Exact 26,000.
Yeah, I mean, if you can make it that, I will buy the car today.
Again, if you can make it that, I'll buy the car here today. Is that something that this dealer is looking for? I don't know. If it's a car in high demand, maybe that's not even that much of interest, right? Because the car is not even there yet. And it seems that there's a lot of people wanting that car. So is he addressing something that will help him? Who knows? But again, salespeople are rewarded for making sales.
Okay, I see those points. I see.
Yeah, and if you can't, I understand. I get it. You have to make a profit and all that, and that's.
We'll wait for them to.
Sure, I'm fine with waiting.
Yeah, because they're busy right now, and I can go ahead and see what I can do.
Yeah, no problem.
Try my best. If you say no, that's fine.
Yeah.
What do you think of the laugh? It's one that that sticks with you, to be honest. Is it nerves? Is it having fun? I'm not sure. What do you think? Let me know in the comments.
But
How are we doing?
We're doing, yeah, You get in there.
How you doing, sir?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. My name's one of the sales managers.
Nice to meet you.
You
Caleb.
too. I understand we got the car you want coming in.
Yeah, he was telling me about it.
Okay, we can hear that the manager or one of the sales managers is walking into the negotiation. Let's see how that changes the dynamic. Curious to find out if 4Dasher made a deal, and if so, whether it was a good deal? Join me for part 2 of the video next week or the week after. Thanks for sharing, 4Dasher. It was great to listen to. Contact me for your next car purchase. I'll be happy to assist you. Another option is for you to use the Sound Negotiator Assistant for free. Links in the description. What did I miss? What else can we learn from this negotiation? Let me know in the comments what questions you have when it comes to negotiating. Good luck with your next negotiation. Whether it is for a car, a big sale, or a big business deal, we are here to help. Go to soundnegotiator.com to get in touch with us. Friese out.